Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Risk Junior. It's ages 5 and up, 2 to 4 players, and it takes about 15 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to be the player with the most points at the end of the game. You get points by collecting these treasure chests and by controlling islands. For game setup, to begin, you shuffle up these treasure tiles and place them out on the board. There should be one left over, which you just place off to the side. And then, starting from the youngest player, we'll say green is the youngest, you place one of your tokens on an island of your choice, and you continue to do so until all the islands have a token on them. Once the islands all have a player's token on them, you put all of the pirate ships for the players playing, we have a 4-player game going on the center Skull Island, which is not controlled by anyone. That is the only one that doesn't get a token on it. Then, starting with the youngest player, you get to move along the little dotted lines, and you get to move one island per turn. So this player will say they go ahead and go to this island, which is controlled by red. At this point, you battle. How you battle is you put the dice in your boats, and where they are positioned on the board, you roll your dice, and it needs to come out of your ship, and then you compare the results. Whoever got the higher roll is the winner, and in the case of a tie, the tie goes to whoever already controls this island. So in this case, green won, which means they get the treasure, and red has to take this character back, and green gets to put theirs on the island. And they do not look at how much treasure, it could be 1, 2, or 3. They do not look at this card until the end of the game, which is when all of the treasures have been collected. That's when you tally up your scores. So let's say we're moving clockwise, so it's red's turn, and they go over here to blue, and they roll as well. But this time, I'm just gonna rig it. We'll say red rolled a 4 and blue rolled a 5. If that happens and the invading pirate doesn't win the roll, then blue, who already owns the island, gets to collect the treasure, and nothing happens to the character that is already here. And then the only other scenario that can happen here is blue has 3 different spots that are still blue right next to him. So he can choose to go to one of these spots and nothing would happen. He would just be using that would be his whole turn. It'd be the next person's turn after him, and he's just using that as a stepping stone to get to another spot. Or he could choose to go to this spot, and they would battle for who controls the island, even though there's no treasure to claim there. So if they did this, they could battle, and if blue gets the 5 and green has the 4, then blue would get to place one of their tokens on there, and green would be back over here. So there wouldn't be any treasure to give away, but this still counts for a point at the end of the game. Here's what the end of a game might look like. Green has just landed on this spot and is dueling against blue for it. We'll say blue rolls lucky 5 and green rolls, well, we'll say they rolled 5, but it's a tie and it's blue's island, so they get the treasure. All of the treasure has been claimed, so now it is time, it's game over, time to tally up scores. You flip over all of your treasure boxes and count those up, and then count how many islands you control. And in this game, blue ended up with 6 points, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and red had 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, so they would be the winner. And in the rules, there is no tiebreaker. It's just whoever has the most points wins. You can throw in your own rules for this, just who has the most islands would win in a tiebreaker. You can decide, but in the rules, officially, if you got the same amount of points, then it is just a tie. Play another game. So that's how to play Risk Junior. And they do show an upset child angry at another child on the back of the box. So despite the short playing time, you know you're getting an authentic Risk experience, at least when it comes to that aspect of the game. So check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.